Libby, welcome to the Westmill.
Thank you so much for having me.
On this beautiful sunny day.
Stunning.
So obviously you've come here a lot.
I do.
Wedding season's in full flow.
Full swing, yeah.
How's it going this season?
It's really good. It's going really well. I've been here 3 times, I think, already.
Okay.
It's so lovely. But yeah, we're getting to like the good, I'd say, start of wedding season, and then from May it just goes.
Which is your favourite month of the season,
crazy.
would you say?
I would
busiest.
probably say last year it was August, but this year it's May. I've got 18 weddings in May this year.
Wow,
Yeah.
amazing. Well, hopefully most of them at the Westmill, obviously.
Yeah, fingers crossed.
So tell me your story, Libby, quickly. So you obviously got into into singing first.
Yes.
When did you suddenly take the plunge into weddings and think that was your calling?
So about 3 years ago, I was working in HR and I hated it.
Really?
Yeah. I hated it so much, and I always like sang on the side. And I don't know where the sort of love for weddings came from, but I've always like really been interested in like wedding dresses and stuff. I think it's just being a girl, just in general. And I said to my boyfriend, right, I want to start wedding singing. And I literally, from that second, started my Instagram. I think here was like my first like open evening and stuff.
Really?
Yeah,
Oh,
literally
I love that.
started here. And then I just sort of went from there, really. And then it took a few months to sort of get myself out there, but once it started, like, it snowballed a little bit, and then a year later I went self-employed with it. So yeah,
Amazing.
I know.
And how was your
So
first
good.
ever wedding? Nerves set in? Did it?
Again, that was here.
Okay. This is a year of first.
Yeah, it's all just started here. I was definitely nervous. I would definitely say like I'd learned things along the way as well. But it was super lovely, and I feel like when I'm singing, I know what I'm doing, and that's what I'm confident in doing. So I don't really get nervous or anything like that about it. But I would definitely say I was a lot more nervous then than like I am now. Like now I know like the whole structure of everything, where then it was like sort of just learning as I'm sort of going. But it was really good, and I was so grateful to like for someone to give me that opportunity to have that start.
Yeah. And what's the most important thing? I mean, obviously coming away from somewhere when you're driving off from the wedding, it's like seeing the smiles on their faces. What's the biggest amount of job satisfaction you get from your job, would you say?
The thing for me, I always find that if I'm singing at a wedding and I can people watch, if I see someone like singing the words, or if I see someone like tapping their foot or just like swaying or something, I know that they're listening, and that for me is like, I love that so much. And if the couple are happy at the end of the day, which I always hope that they are, that just means more to me than anything, because I think people obviously specifically choose you for their weddings, and when they're like so happy with it, I'm like, that is the best thing. But when I see people singing along, I'm like, oh my god, that's just incredible.
Yeah. In terms of the day, you're there obviously during the ceremony, post-ceremony.
Yeah.
Which is your favourite bit?
I would definitely say I like staying for longer than the ceremony, because I feel like I'm here for like all the day. I get to be a part of like obviously the most important part of the day. Drinks are really fun because obviously everyone's just like having a good time, drinks are flowing, photos are being taken. They're probably my the parts of the day that I like the most. I do like the wedding breakfast, but it's a lot more chill because obviously everyone's hungry, they want to eat and stuff like that. And then I'm not really like a evening entertainment kind of person, so I suppose just like the first few hours of the day and stuff is where
the
I
magical
like to
bits,
be.
really, isn't it?
Yeah,
You know? Yeah.
100%. And I feel like everyone's at like their best. Obviously, like the evening is like amazing, but I feel like being a part of that ceremony and being part of like the most important part of their story, and then seeing everyone like celebrate afterwards, and you get to see like the couples like interact with their family and stuff. It's just so lovely, so nice.
Do you ever get emotional?
Yeah. I have to really hold it together. There's like, especially when I get to know a couple and I know their story and stuff, especially like aisle songs, sometimes I can't actually look at the bride because I think I will burst into tears.
Oh, bless
but
you.
It's so nice, and I just feel like it's emotion as well, because I'm just like, oh my god, like I'm providing that soundtrack for somebody, and it's just it's
You're
such a
providing the
privilege.
soundtrack for their life.
Yeah,
going
it's so
forward.
lovely. Yeah, because that song they'll remember forever, and I just love that.
Which takes me on to the question, obviously, with wedding songs and pieces, it's so hard to choose, isn't it?
Yes.
What would your advice be to be any couple looking for the perfect piece of wedding music?
I always say I would choose something that's personal to you rather than a trend. Like if you hear a song and it's quite trendy at the time, like it's great, but you might look back in 10 years time and think that, well, it does now, but you probably think it didn't actually really mean anything to me.
Yeah.
I would pick songs for like your ceremony and stuff that mean stuff to you as a couple. So like if you've had kids and you had like a playlist on when you were giving birth, like maybe a song that was on there, or like a song that you listened to when you first started like dating each other and stuff. I'd say for like your ceremony and your first dance and stuff, like that's really, really lovely. Then for like your wedding breakfast, when you walk in, I always say upbeat because it just gets everyone like up.
Yeah.
If it's the vibe isn't there, nobody's getting up and it's just awkward. But I just say like, I choose songs personal to you and I stick with your kind of vibe, and I'd book people that resonate with you. So like I'm quite acoustic and it can be slow or as upbeat if you want, where if you're looking for someone that's a little bit more like, I don't know, maybe like a soul sort of band or something, obviously that's personal to you and that's what I'd look for. I wouldn't just go for people because it's like the trend of the time. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, totally, that makes sense.
Yeah.
And what would you say your personal preference in music is? What would your best piece of music be?
I really like the stuff where it's acoustic but it's really upbeat, so you can take a song and it just be like a guitar, and I just like the stripped back versions of stuff.
Yeah.
Whether that's like because I'm a solo musician, if I had a band behind me obviously it might be a bit different, but I really like taking songs and just making them acoustic and making them sort of like my own rather than it being sort of just the normal track, if that sort of makes sense.
Yeah, amazing. And what's the most memorable wedding you've been to so far, would you say?
Oh God, there's been so many, probably. I actually had the privilege of singing at our best friend's wedding last year, which was so nice because I was like so privileged that they asked me, and my boyfriend was like a groomsman and stuff, so that was really, really lovely to like be a part of that, and I'll forever remember her walking down the aisle. But I honestly can say that once I've sang at a wedding, if I see your face in public, I'll know exactly where you got married, what song you had, like everything.
Wow,
like, yeah.
That's amazing.
I remember before, maybe like if I saw you out in public, I might not know your name or something like that, but afterwards when I've had that connection and stuff with you, I remember everything, like every song. So it is quite nice, and I'd say everyone's weddings that I remember. Obviously some people have like parts of the day where I think is quite like unique, and I did a wedding here a couple of weeks ago, and when they were walking into their wedding breakfast, they had like all of the boys lined up at the lift, so when the couple came out they were all like going crazy and stuff.
Wow.
And stuff like that really sticks in your head.
Lots of napkins in the air.
Yeah,
is that still
absolutely.
a trend?
100%. Get them napkins up in the air.
Amazing. Well, it's been such a pleasure meeting you today
you so
again
much for
and
having
seeing
me.
you. And obviously that last 4 years of your career has been amazing. What's in store for the next 3 years? What's your bucket list of things that you want to be achieving?
I hope to stay a little bit more local.
Yeah.
So like here, Rivermill, like Derbyshire sort of venues. I do travel all over at the minute, so I'd like to sort of like bring it back in a little bit more, but just keep going. Every year I take as it comes, because I think, do you know what, we never know like where it's going and stuff, so I think I just appreciate it whilst I'm here in the moment. So I hope people just keep booking me and I just can keep going. So
brilliant. Well, your booking links will be on the Instagram for the West Mill, so yeah, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me.
See you later.
It's a pleasure.